Welcome, Professor Dr. Muhammad Arshad, Pro Vice Chancellor, University of Education, Lahore. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing some time.
Thank you, Dr. Umar. First of all, I congratulate all students who are participating in this contest. I say happy Independence Day, rather happy 73rd Independence Day. And I appreciate the efforts of Directorate of Student Affairs, who is organizing this event. It's a really appreciable initiative that they organize these type of events for the students who are sitting at home. I hope students will participate in this competition with enthusiasm. I say good luck to all of the participants and all staff, all our colleagues who are participating. I appreciate their efforts. Thank you very much.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the creator, the sustainer, and the Lord of heavens and earth. So I welcome all of you to the inter-campus declamation contest online, and that is on the eve of Independence Day of Pakistan. I'm thankful to Dr. Muhammad Arshad, Principal, University of Education, Lower Mall Campus, for gracing this occasion. I'm also thankful to worthy Chairperson, Department of English, Language and Literature, Dr. Mubashir Nadeem, who is the judge of today's contest. Thank you, sirs. So, first of all, I would request Dr. Muhammad Umar, Director, Student Affairs, to please recite some verses of Holy Quran.
Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العظيم.
Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Now I request Professor Dr. Muhammad Arshad to please address the gatherings and say some words for this occasion.
Thank you, Mr. Jahanzeb. I first of all congratulate all of the participants, my all colleagues, Directorate Student Affairs. I congratulate 73rd on the eve of 73rd Independence Day, and I hope students will participate in this competition with enthusiasm. And I also hope that you must be celebrating Pakistan Day at home. And I must appreciate the efforts of Directorate of Student Affairs, who is organizing these type of activities regularly for the students and even for the faculty members. I extend my appreciation to, especially to Director of Student Affairs, Dr. Umar Salim, and his team, that they are organizing these type of competition regularly. I expect that students will, of course, participate in this competition with enthusiasm, and they will learn something out of this activity. With these words, I thank you all. I thank you, my all colleagues. I thank you, my all students who are participating. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Chairperson, Department of English, Language and Literature, Professor Dr. Mubashir Nadeem, to please announce the guidelines for today's competition.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Pro Vice Chancellor, University of Education, Professor Dr. Muhammad Arshad, Dr. Umar Salim, the Director of Student Affairs, Professor Jahanzeb, my colleagues, and dear students. As you know, that this context or this declamation contest, precisely speaking, is being held on the eve of, not on the eve of exactly 14th August, Independence Day, but definitely the references to that. Now, the topic is already shared by DSA, and that is, this is how Pakistan came into being. That is the English topic. Now, a couple of things are very important for the students. I hope that you are attentive. Now, it is a declamation. You must remember what are the norms of declamation. It's not a debate. So it's a declamation of one idea, one important point you must remember. This is very important, my dear students. Now, there are two students from each campus. One is speaking for Urdu, but of course, this is the time not for Urdu, but for English. Now, the total minutes allocated to each student or the participant is 5 minutes. But remember, you have to try to complete your task within 4 minutes, because you shall be having the first bell after the 4th minute. And please wind your discussion or whatever your points are within 5 minutes. Otherwise, there will be negative marking, as the rules say. And then it's very important that you have to avoid the derogatory remarks. You have to avoid any sort of debatable point, in the sense that comes or falls under the concept of a derogatory. Okay, so this is very important. Do not speak negatively. Do not speak negatively. That's very important. And then what are the three things will be judged? One, the matter. I repeat, the matter. Second, your pronunciation. And the third, your presentation. I repeat, matter, pronunciation, and presentation. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much. Over to the state secretary or the master of the ring. Thank you very much. I shall be speaking definitely at the end. Goodbye and good luck.
Thank you very much, sir. So as you stated, so I guess everyone has noted it, that what is being counted is like your matter, your pronunciation, and your presentation. So the topic of today's English declamation contest is, this is how Pakistan came into being. So I may call upon the first contestant, so Miss Adina Shiri.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. The story of Pakistan, its struggle and its achievement, is the very story of great human ideals struggling to survive in the face of great odds and difficulties. Assalamu alaikum, I am Adina Shiri, and I am here to converse with you about how Pakistan appeared. Pakistan today commends an independence day. It was not made for the time being, yet after a long and constant battle that was initially begun with the development of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Because of Pakistan development, Pakistan appeared, which focused on the production of an autonomous Muslim state in the northwestern locales of British India through partition. There was a mass departure of mankind before independence. Muslims from the areas which shaped peace of India chosen to move to the guaranteed place that is known for Pakistan. Raiding Hindus and Sikhs set upon the defenseless and displaced person parades, raping, killing, and looting the outcasts. On the western side, students' activism supported an offensive misfortune. Muslims, displaced people, had been denied of all the resources, nobility, and honor, and had scarcely gotten away with their lives. Students in unified Bengal were additionally at the bleeding edge of the battle for freedom. This is how Pakistan came into being. Pakistan came into existence with the horrible loss of life and death and the migration of millions of dazed and destitute men, women, and children. Equally disastrous was the economic situation. There were not sufficient personnel to run the railways, hospitals, and offices. There were not enough chairs, tables, and even stationery and paper pens for the administrative purpose. This is how Pakistan came into being. On 1st April 1948, India cut off the supply of water from the two head works under her control. Tireless efforts of the founders of activists of Pakistan movement participated in the success of political movement that led to the establishment and creation of an independent Pakistan. Allama Muhammad Iqbal presented and conceived the idea of Pakistan, and he also formalized two-nation theory. Liaquat Ali Khan, he was the author of Objectives Resolution. And Rahmat Ali, he coined and created Pakistan, and he also wrote Now or Never. Despite his illness, after the enthusiastic work and the efforts of dawn night, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah achieved a proud and an independent nation for the Muslims on 14 August 1947. Here we can say that this is how Pakistan came into being. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next contestant is Miss Rabia Ghaffar.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious and merciful. Today, the topic of my speech is This is how Pakistan came into being. मिली नहीं है हमको अर्ज़ पाक तोहफे में, मिली नहीं है हमको अर्ज़ पाक तोहफे में, जो लाखों दीप बुझे हैं तो एक चिराग जला है. This day, Pakistani nation celebrates 74th Independence Day. I feel proud to wish Happy Independence Day. The day of 14th August, when the Islamic Republic of Pakistan came into being. This day, most memorable day. This day, most memorable day of our history. This day is immensely important.
Miss Rabia, your voice is breaking. Miss Rabia Ghaffar, we are unable to listen to you. Please, could you look into your internet? I guess you are having a weak internet connection.
In 1947, thunder the hard work and great leadership of unending continuous struggle of all the Muslims were devoted. Hello.
Ji, Miss Rabia, please keep speaking. Miss Rabia, you're audible. Please continue your speech.
Lakh ho jane. Respected teachers, this day reminds us thousands of brave freedom fighters who sacrificed their lives to get freedom for British rule. This day also reminds us that mothers who sacrificed their son, sisters who sacrificed their brothers, and daughters who sacrificed their father to get this country. And it was not only sacrifices life, but it also of honor, and there is nothing more to be lost in this world than that. वो लुटे पिटे से काफी चमन सजा कर चले गए वो लुटे पिटे से काफिले जो वतन Secretary Teacher, the great leadership of Qaeda Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and many other Muslim leaders, along with the countless of our forefathers' hard work and sacrifices brought about this independence country into being. We also salute the fathers of this nation and the great effort for the establishment of Pakistan. कब्रों में नहीं हमको किताबों में उतारो कब्रों में नहीं हमको किताबों में उतारो हम लोग मोहब्बत की कहानी में मरे हैं Before Pakistan, respected teacher, before freedom, we were the slaves. The question is, why the people were anxious for Pakistan? Why the people were anxious for Pakistan? Reason is behind that. They simply people of era were not selfish and greedy. The people of era were not selfish and greedy. We are not slaves, British people and Hindus. आज़ादी की तकलीफ गुलामी के आराम से बेहतर है. Respected teacher, now this is huge responsibility on our shoulders. We have to work day and night for the betterment of our country. We should make our country the strongest, powerful and 12 in the world. हम तो मिट जाएंगे ए अर्ज़े वतन लेकिन हम तो मिट जाएंगे ए अर्ज़े वतन लेकिन तुमको जिंदा रहना है क़यामत की सहर होने तक. Respected teacher, freedom has a high cost. Freedom has a high
Ms. Rabia, you're not audible, and I guess your time is already passed. You have crossed the time limit. The time limit, as told to you, was 5 minutes. So when it's 4 minutes, I'll show you it on screen, or I'll announce it. And on 5 minutes, you exceed your time limit. I also request all of you to please switch your video, your cameras on, because that is the rule of the competition. So our next participant for today is, and also please check into your internet connections or its stability. So next contestant is Ms. Samia Riaz.
Sir, please wait a while. I think there is camera issue. Can you guys, am I visible with you?
No, Ms. Samia, your camera is stuck.
Sir, there is a network problem due to somehow.
Please switch it off and turn it back again.
Okay, sir. Again, there is problem. सर आप किसी और से पहले ले सकते हैं. Just give me 2 minutes. आप पहले किसी और से ले लें.
Okay, so looking into this online, since we have some issues, so with the permission of Dr. Mubashir Nadeem, if you allow, so may I call the name of someone else?
Yes, yes, please allow.
Okay, sir. So next participant is Ms. Soha Batul.
In the name of Allah, whose grace and mercy cover the skies and the earth, and among the all creations living among the heights and the depths. Honorable President, respected teachers, and my dear fellows, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Soha. Today, the topic of my speech is This is how the Pakistan came into being. Pakistan. Independence, respected sir. In Pakistan, Muslims could not live freely under the British dominance. It is because of our culture, language, and religious aspects which are at stake. That's why we got the independence. Independence is a condition. It's a condition of nation, country, or a state in which its residents and the populations exercise self-government and sovereignty over the territory. A great man said, true independence comes when we cease to force and start to flow. The ability to be independent is something that not everyone possesses. You need to be independent in every aspect for the survival in the world. Do you always want to be independent on someone else? Of course not. You are not only limiting yourself, but you are also a burden on someone else's persons. Just like other nations, just like other prospering nations, we are also one of them. We can breathe in the air of the lands, and we can do whatever we want to do because we live in a free state. Do you know this is the greatest blessing of Allah Almighty, who's granted us with His blessing in this form of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which gives us identity. Wherever we go, we feel proud because we can easily say from which country do we belong. Dear fellows, can you just think about it? What could happen if we didn't have the freedom of our country in the shape of the Pakistan? Can't you just think about it right now? Okay, that's fine. Let me explain to the nation who are struggling to get the independence, to get the freedom from the clutches of the tyrants in this 21st century, where almost all the world is in busy now and are busy in their developments. By passing every day, the people of the Kashmir, the people of the oppressed people of the Kashmir is being dealt by the unfair treatment of the people of the India for many years. They want a freedom to live freely, to soar in the atmosphere of their own country land. They want to live with justice. Dear respected all, what fault did the people of Kashmir had made for which they are suffering such strictness? The people of the Kashmir are asking the question to the world and the so-called human rights resources and the countries which have to rule. Dear fellows, the establishment of the Pakistan came into being on 14th of August 1947, but its struggles are being rooted down in the deep pages of the history. We didn't get it in just 1 or 2 days. There have been years behind the establishment of the Pakistan. And then Pakistan came into being. Many of the mothers lost their sons, many of the wives lost their husbands, and many of the children lost their sons. And then Pakistan came into being. You might be aware of the fact that before the establishment of the Pakistan, the Muslims of the India also struggled for the development, for the freedom of their country. When they were in the Hindustan, they were forbidden for the sake, they were forbidden for the worship of Allah. They were avoided for not being following the rules of the Islam, and they were even beaten because they could not follow the duties of the religious activities, and they are depressed even in every aspect. But the Allah Almighty has granted us with the power of with the peace of bravery, power, and the bravery of our great leaders like Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Allama Iqbal, and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, whose names were always written in golden words in the history of the Pakistan. And so we have got the place in which where we can live freely and with no discrimination. Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah accomplished the dream of the Allama Iqbal and the peoples of the nations. At the end of my speech, I should salute to our Shodas who sacrifices their lives to secure our future ones. My dear brothers and sisters, We should unite and and work collectively for the great process of peace, prosperity, justice, and the equality of every countryman. We need to be united and work hard to manage to change the destiny of our every countryman. Thank you.
Okay, this was Ms. Suha Batul. So next we have Ms. Hadia Qureshi. Okay, Ms. Samia, you can continue. Is your issue fixed, I guess?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you can continue then. Ms.
Am I
Samia
visible
Riaz.
and audible to you?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I start with the greatest name of Allah, who is the most gracious and the most merciful. My honorable teachers and respected fellows, Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic of my speech is This is how Pakistan came into being. We can never forget the history of Pakistan. The history of Muslims were a continuous struggle of 100 years of Muslims of subcontinent in the world. Pakistan was not given to us as a charity. It was not made to secure a piece of land, and it was not made in a day. Pakistan is the result of Islamic ideology. Its foundation lies in the two-nation theory of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, in the dreams of Allama Muhammad Iqbal, in the efforts of Ali brothers, and finally, in the undefeatable leadership of Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Honorable listeners, during the Pakistan liberation movement for the Muslims of India, Qaid made it clear that we, the Muslims, are not a minority. We are a nation according to all the definitions of the word nation. Our religion, our ways of thinking, our language, even everything is not only different from those of Hindus, but their heroes are our enemies, and our heroes are also considered enemies by them. When we cannot even eat together due to these cultural, social, economic, educational, and political differences, then what about to live in one country? So Khoid want that we shall wish for a laboratory where we would be independent and implement ideology of Islam. Respected viewers, for accomplishing this ideal, the Muslims continued an organized effort under the guidelines provided by our Father of Nation. The Muslim Ummah gathered as one unit and sacrificed their life, sacrificed their sleep, spent all the riches, forgot everything but Pakistan. And then by the grace of Allah Almighty, Pakistan came into being on 14th of August 1947. The efforts of Qaid, the struggles of Iqbal, the preaching of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and the efforts of thousands of Muslim freedom fighters from all the walks of life can never ever be ignored. Now it is our foremost responsibility to protect our motherland. Wherever we go, we can proudly say we belong to Pakistan. We get education according to our religious aspects. This is the greatest blessing of Allah Almighty, who granted us with the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which gave us identity. We can freely celebrate our occasions. In fact, we live with full freedom. So we have to work day and night for the progress of our country. And because we know that the grand task always requires great sacrifices, who have to stand against all those of big problems being faced by our motherland. At the end of my speech, I would like to pray that our country will make more progress in other countries in the world. Shukriya. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Ms. Samia. So next participant is Ms. Hadia Qureshi.
Worthy President, eminent guests, and my dear Pakistanis, Assalamu alaikum and happy Independence Day to each one of you. It's a sheer pleasure to share this platform with such esteemed and distinguished people like all of you. First of all, I would say that we should thank Allah as we are free and fortunate enough. Yes, we are free and fortunate enough to celebrate this Independence Day. My dear Pakistanis, let me throw a light how Pakistan came into being. As it is said by Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah that nations are born in the hearts of poets, but they die and prosper in the hands of politicians. Yes, Mr. President, dream means believing in yourself when no one else does. The existence of Pakistan is an embodiment of these two quotations, as Pakistan was mere a dream of Allama Muhammad Iqbal, but Qaid-e-Azam with his utmost passion, patience, and perseverance, changed this dream into reality. The route of achieving this dream was not a bed of roses. Instead, it was a bed of thorns. It was full of difficulties, miseries, and obstacles. But Qaid never abnegated his dream. Therefore, let me salute to all those and let me pay tribute to all those who sacrificed their lives for all of us, who sacrificed their education, their jobs, their business, who sacrificed their personal dreams and desires to change one dream of Pakistan into reality. Streets were thronged with dead bodies. Dead bodies, the heaps of dead bodies were lying all over the roads. And our ancestors sacrificed everything so that their next generations could live peacefully. My blessed Pakistanis, that's how Pakistan came into being. Many people who were supposed to begin their new lives with their spouses ended up to begin their new lives in heaven. The Hindus made every possible effort to make Muslims deprived of education, of economic success, and following their religion. Muslims were fallen in the pit of pessimism, and Qaid-e-Azam, with his vigor, pulled them out of that pit. Qaid-e-Azam pulled them out from that pit. Qaid-e-Azam faced every single challenge like a true hero and warrior. He, with his profound political insight and with his impressive oratory, infused a spirit of separate homeland in Muslims. Despite utmost opposition, suppression, and oppression, he never forgot his dream, and eventually all the efforts bore fruit. And under his sincere and supreme leadership, Pakistan came into being on 14th August 1947. Qaid proved that impossible is only an illusion and an excuse for fools. My dear Pakistanis, the existence of Pakistan gives us a didactic message that destiny doesn't decide your destination. Instead, it's your determination that decides your destination. But my conscientious Pakistanis and Mr. President, the present dilapidated situation of Pakistan shatters us to the core as the giant of sectarianism and terrorism has engulfed all our peace, prosperity, and progress. We have lost our glory. Today, I ask each one of you to introspect: did our Qaid and our ancestors sacrifice to see this miserable Pakistan? Certainly no. Therefore, on this Independence Day, let's make a vow that we will do everything possible to make our country peaceful, progressive, and prosperous. I bet, I repeat, I bet that soon Pakistan will get rid of every misery. It would be our nation's victory that would script history. Inshallah. Pakistan Zindabad. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you very much, Miss Adia. So next participant is Miss Maila Hussain.
Am I audible and clear?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my honorable audience. Happy Independence Day to all of you, but in slight advance. My respected jury, this is Maila Hussain, and the subject matter which I am going to share is "This is how Pakistan came into being." So let's start this long episode of journey. My worthy audience, can we really think that we got this homeland just by making castles in the air? Did the Allama Iqbal, Qaid-e-Azam, Tasir Ahmed Khan only saw the sweet side dreams? If not, then what was their struggle? My dear fellows, with the dethroning of the Bahadur Shah Zafar, He was sentenced to life imprisonment. And in the very next day, his sons and grandsons were slaughtered. How pity is it? How pity is it? And then again in 1857, the Muslims were ruthlessly looted and killed. And what about our Muslim ulama, like Ahmadullah Shah Madrasi and Fazl Haq Khair Abadi, whose heads were hanged on the Delhi top, my respected audience? This is how Pakistan came into being. Yes, this is how Pakistan came into being. And in again 1947, the brutality and the cruelty touched the sky, so that about 2 lakh to 2 million Muslims were ruthlessly killed and slaughtered. And what about our Muslim women, who were the sign of our prestige? My dear audience, my respected members, what was that day? Indeed, the sky was drenched in shame when the Muslim women lied to jump into the wells to hug the ruthless death. Why? Because they were saying how their fellow women were kidnapped. It's just an approximation that during 1947 partition, about 1 lakh Muslim women were kidnapped, raped and abducted. This is how Pakistan came into being. Yes, this is how Pakistan came into being. And why all this massacre? Because they demanded a separate piece of land for themselves, for their future progeny, for me, for you, and for us. I again say, this is how Pakistan came into being. I'm concluding by giving a suggestion that we cannot celebrate our independence by just playing those so-called Bigal and Bajas, by just not rising the flags on our rooftops, but by rising it in our hearts, in our thoughts, and in our struggles. And if I say more practically, then this is my opinion, dear members, that we should hang the dupatta of the woman on the surfboard, on the Minar-e Pakistan, to open the eyes of our exaggerated youth, that this is the way, this is the painful and the heartbreaking journey which led to the creation of Pakistan, which enable us to say proudly that yeah, we are Pakistanis, we are Pakistani nation. And the most important, by holding fast the grip, the cable of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the true journey will start. From this is how Pakistan came into being, to that Jinnah and Iqbal Islamic Republic of Pakistan will came into being. Inshallah, inshallah. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that may someone got a food for thought from my talk. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maila. So next we have Mr. Ali Akhtas. So Ali Akhtas, are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So your time starts now.
Yes, hello.
Ali Akhtas, you are audible. You can start talking.
Like, is it clear? Breaking up. Okay, let me just join one more time, okay?
Okay, you can hurry up, please.
Yes, it will take 1 minute, please. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, what about now? Is it audible?
Yes, you're audible, but we cannot see your video.
Okay, what about now? Can you see me?
No, not yet.
Hello?
Yes, now you're there. So you can start talking.
Sure,
your time starts now.
Okay, what about now? Can you see me? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Pakistan Broadcasting Service, we are live from Lahore at 12 at night between 13th and 14th August of year 1947. The dawn of an independent morning. These lines were nothing less but a blessing. Our beloved homeland came into being. Long live Pakistan. Malaya establishment of Pakistan happened on 14th August 1947, but its struggles are in the deep pages of history. They did not get it in a day or two. Years and years of sacrifices lie behind this achievement. The idea behind the momentum that gave birth to Pakistan was Muslim nationalism. You might be aware of the fact that Muslims of India struggled for freedom when they were living in Hindustan. They were not allowed to worship the one God, Allah. They were not allowed to live the culture of Muslims. They could not get right to education or jobs. They were depressed in every aspect, an oppressed nation they were. The fact is that the Hindus were in majority and they did everything that harmed Muslims of the continent. Both the nations had cultural and religious differences as well. So the formulation of a separate homeland was the only option for the survivals of Muslims of India. This is the basis of MCQ nation theory that gave birth to Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. But Allah Almighty granted us such great leaders who led the foundation of Pakistan. With the strength of Iman, power of belief, bravery of our great leaders, we got the place where we can live in complete freedom with no discrimination of religion, race, gender, or nation. Malas, our history is full of great leaders such as Allama Muhammad Iqbal, who awoke the Muslims of India from the slavery of injustice by his effective poetry, which is being and will be followed for centuries. He gave the Muslims an idea of the separate homeland where they could spend their lives according to their cultural and religious norms and values. With wisdom and equity, Qaid-e-Azam, the great leader, accomplished the dreams of Iqbal and the Muslims of India. I remember the historic words of the legend: "You are free. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosques or any other places of worship in the state of Pakistan. You may belong to any religion, caste, or creed. That has nothing to do with the state of business. Whether it be Sir Sayyid, Johar brothers, Fatima Jinnah, Liaquat Ali Khan, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali Khan, and more and more. They will surely live in our house." Ladies and gentlemen, after nearly 200 years of its rule, the British colonial withdrew from the subcontinent in 1947. It is a tragic and inhuman account that had consequences on the lives of millions of people. The hurried transfer of power and the partition of British India along religious lines, a Hindu majority India and Muslims majority Pakistan, it sparked mass-scale religious riots that left more than 2 million people dead and nearly 15 million displaced. Other than the violence and the famine it caused, the partition is said to have brought about the largest mass migration in history. To this day, the socio-political and the economic repercussions of partition reverberate throughout the South Asian region. That is the price we paid for the freedom. That is the price we paid for this blessed piece of land, Pakistan. This is how Pakistan came into being, ladies and gentlemen. It shatters my heart when I hear about those innocent people who got killed in the trains on the eve of Independence Day. The men, women, and the children, just because they wanted to live in a free land. This is the price we paid for freedom, ladies and gentlemen. My heart gets filled with grief while I think about the terror and the violence that was on the very heart of the event of partition. The attack by huge crowds on villages, trains, refugee camps, raids on the villages and train stations, abduction, loot, stabbing of passengers. Mercy, my Lord. Mercy. Castration, mutilation, women were raped and innocent children were brutally killed. Yes, unfortunately, this happened. This is the price we paid for the freedom, ladies and gentlemen. This is how Pakistan came into being. Just like every prospering nation, we are one of them. We can breathe in the air of this land. We can do what we want. We can get education according to our religious aspects. We can freely celebrate our occasions. This is the greatest blessing of Allah. This is the greatest blessing of Allah who gave us an identity in the form of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, we should be really, really thankful to God for what He gave us this beautiful piece of land where we're living in a complete freedom. And we should play our vital part for the prosperity of this nation. May the prosperity of our mother country, Pakistan, increases day and night. May we be the greatest nation in the world forever, as our great leader, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah said. There is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan. Inshallah. And thank you so much. That is from my side.
Well, earlier this you took 6 minutes in total. So I again request all the participants, because I am all the time showing the screen. So when it is 4 minutes, I show you a green scene, a green chart. When it is 5 minutes past, I show you a red chart. So now I request. So maybe you had made your screen pinned. That's why. Okay.
No,
so
but I didn't see any screen. All right, that's no problem.
So next we have Ms. Mahpara Shehzadi. Ms. Mahpara, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay, so do not pin your screen. I'm always saying that I am showing this online. So if you pin your screen, you won't be able to show the sign of time limit. Okay, you can begin now. Your time starts now.
Okay. In the name of Allah Almighty, the most gracious and the most kind. Dear fellows, respected teachers and honorable guests, Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all of you. I am Mahpara Shehzadi from University of Education, Jaharabad campus. It's very great honor for me to be asked to speak at this gathering on the topic of This is how Pakistan came into being. Behind the creation of Pakistan, the hard works of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, efforts of Allama Muhammad Iqbal, and hard works of Muslim freedom fighters can never ever be ignored. I didn't prepare to give a detailed exposition, but I would like to content myself with a few suggestions, indications, and directions in which I feel his philosophy points. Pakistan came into being as a result of various movements, such as War of Independence in 1857, foundation of All India Muslim League, and the most important was Resolution of Pakistan, held on 23rd March 1940. Muhammad Ali Jinnah said in this resolution that we are a nation with our own distinctive culture, civilization, traditions, history, culture, calendar, language, and literature. In short, we have a distinctive outlook of life. By all these canons, we are a nation. We can't merge into any other nation. This is how Muslims of United India demanded a separate homeland for themselves. This resolution strengthens two-nation theory given by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The concept of two-nation theory was Hindus and Muslims were the two separate nations with the distinctive culture, civilization, religion, and language. How could they live together? Ideology of Pakistan is also based on two-nation theory, which upholds that Hindus and Muslims are two separate nations that can never merge into each other. Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted unity of Muslims and Hindus before, but when he saw the harsh behavior of British and Hindus toward Muslims, he decided to build a separate homeland for Muslims. Quaid said that, I do not believe in taking right decision. I take a decision and make it right. The most important factor was that Hindus and Muslims had nothing in common. They neither intermarried nor eat together. How could they live together? And Muslims want representation, a platform where they can live independently and perform perform their religious activities independently. Dear fellows, do you know how Pakistan came into being? Pakistan came into being after a lot of sacrifices. The Muslims of United India sacrificed their health, wealth, and even lives for making Pakistan a reality. Dear fellows, the freedom you are living is not free of cost. For demand of Pakistan, in the front of many Muslim mothers, their children were killed. Our homeland is not just a piece of land, but the bones of Muslims of United India, used as bricks, and their blood of martyrs, used to lay down the foundation of Pakistan. So, the freedom you are living is not free of cost. After a lot of sacrifices, hard work, Pakistan came into being on 14th August 1947. At last, I want to say that we should promise with ourselves to work for its prosperity. Made progress. At last, let's raise the slogan of Pakistan Zindabad. That's all.
So this was Ms. Mahpara Shehzadi. So next we have Ms. Aisha Mukhtar Khan. So Ms. Aisha Mukhtar Khan, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Let me turn on my camera.
Yes, sure.
Okay. In the
so
name of
time
Allah, the
starts.
most merciful and the most beneficent. It's Aisha Mukhtar Khan from Atta campus. Today we are here to discuss how Pakistan came into being. My beloved country, Pakistan, came into existence as a result of the Pakistan movement, which aimed for the creation of an independent Muslim state. The efforts of Iqbal, the hard work of Quaid-e-Azam and other countless independent stars went through successfully, and we got today a fresh and a free air to breathe and live as per our own rules, regulations, cultures, and values. Pakistan has not come into being by chance. It has come with a lot of sacrifices and decades of struggle behind. It has the blood, the hard work, the sacrifices, and countless other things. It is an open secret that before independence, we were under the slave of British Indian subcontinent. Our very rights and obligations were under an unprecedented attack. Blessed be those leaders whose effort gave us this country like Pakistan. Mr. President, before we move ahead to discuss what efforts to be done for tomorrow, I guess it's mandatory to shed some light over the hard work, dedication, struggle, and endeavors of our forefathers with the great cause of independence. The efforts of Quaid, the struggles of Iqbal, and the preaching of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and the efforts of thousands of Muslims, freedom fighters for all the walks of life can never be ignored. One wonders how come in the old days, such as unity, discipline, efforts, and dedication, in the face of two giant forces, the British and the Hindus, our true leaders could achieve, and that all brought us to Pakistan. True it is, behind all these sacrifices and struggles for unity and free land was the blessing of Allah Almighty. We were made politically paralyzed, socially isolated, and every possible effort was made to make us comply with the international dedications, but we still survive. We have to identify and stand against all of those odds to make our country strong and superior. Respected sir, it is quite disheartening to state that our land, which came into being after a number of difficulties, is facing numerous challenges. Poverty, terrorism, unemployment, youth frustrations, resources mismanagement, and corruptions are the name to few. Unfortunately, however, we had not been able to serve the country with the same spirit with which it came into being. We had not been able to do full justice to our own nation, yet still, there is time for a wake-up call. The hard task always requires great sacrifices. We have to stand against all of those big problems being faced by our motherland. Respected listeners, given the enormous degrees of challenges ahead, the things we need are unity, discipline, and faith. We have to preserve and propagate national integration through every corner of our country. We have to stay disciplined in our efforts and struggles for the progress of our country. And the last thing that we need is to have firm faith in Allah Almighty, and surely with all the efforts given, we will stand out victorious. Independence Day comes every year to remind us of our true status, of our identity, of our prestige, of our power. Merely chanting slogans doesn't suffice us. There lies a higher responsibility on our shoulders. We, as a nation, have to discharge our duties diligently in order to get rid of incessant crises and uncertainties. Let's help our brothers, our sisters, and help our countrymen selflessly. Let's stand against injustice, ignorance, anarchy, poverty, corruption, and unemployment. Let's work, let's unite, let's turn into such a sublime and solid entity that should embitter and spoil every nefarious tactic of our fearless foes. Pakistan, Zindabad. Thank you.
So this was Ms. Aisha Mukhtar Khan. Next, we have Mr. Raja Muhammad Muzammil Hussain. So Raja Muhammad Muzammil Hussain, are you ready?
Am I visible to you, sir?
Yes, you are. You can continue your speech now.
इधर स्क्रीन ब्लैक है तो इस वजह से फिर मुझे नहीं पता चल रहा है, इस वजह से मैंने क्वेश्चन किया. Thank you so much for giving me the chance. Let's start. Should I start, sir?
Yes, you may start now.
This is how Pakistan came into being. Freedom is never priceless. This is the price of your life. But would a man not pay for his living? Mr. President and dear judges, this is after a hard-earned endeavor that we are living freely, that we are breathing independently as the respectable and law-abiding citizen of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. This is the real freedom. What we have total control over what we do, what we can, what we practice, and what we stand. Keeping view the law of this land. Mr. President, let me introduce the nations here who are still struggling to get freedom from the clutches of tyrants in the 21st century, when the world is completely easy and free to move and working on its development. The nations of Kashmir and Syria, they are still struggling. They are suffocated in their own homeland to get freedom. Mr. President, definitely Pakistan is a gift. This is the gift that has been given after thousands of sacrifices of our freedom lovers and freedom fighters. The fighters who chose to live freely. The fighters who chose to protect their future generations. The worth and value of this thing can only be determined and gained when we are in shackles. We have got thousands of instances all around the world. The world is replete with slavery and injustice of every kind. Dear judges and viewers, establishment of Pakistan happened on 14th of August 1947, but we didn't get it in just 1 or 2 days. There are thousands of struggles laid down in the pages of history. There are many of the years and struggles, facing problems, doing efforts behind achievement of this heaven. You might be unaware of a fact that about the establishment of Pakistan, the people of India, the Muslims of India were also struggling the same issue to get freedom. When they were living in Hindustan, they were slaughtered like animals. They were not given the right to education. They were not given the right to employment. They were depressed and squeezed. They were forbidden to worship one God. They were forced to leave the customs of Muslims. That's how Pakistan came into being. But Allah Almighty created us the great leaders of the world to lead the foundation of Pakistan with their bravery, the passion and the wisdom in themselves. Like Allama Muhammad Iqbal, he evoked the people of India, the Muslims of India, by his effective and persuasive poetry, which is being and will be followed after centuries and centuries. The wisdom and the great leader we have, Qaid Azam. He established the same thing. He established the dreams of Allama Muhammad Iqbal. He established the dreams of people of India. He established the dreams of Muslims of India. And he gave us the real state of independence. He gave us the real freedom of corridors all over the world. These were the real efforts made by these leaders. We have other leaders like Liaquat Ali Khan, Johar brothers, Fatima Jinnah, and many more. We stand here to salute all of them because they gave us, they gifted us the real territory, the real state of independence, where we can worship our one God without any discrimination. We can live freely without the discrimination of nation. We can live freely without the discrimination of a religion. That's how Pakistan came into being. Before 1947, we need this land. So now the land needs us. It has been facing a lot of problems regarding corruption, unemployment, and poverty, but we had to stand it up, and we can. The days are not far beyond when we will beat all the challenges we have and all the world. Thank you. Pakistan Zindabad.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much to all of you. It was really what I can say, that is nerve-shattering competition. So may the best man or woman wins. So now I request Professor Dr. Umar Salim, Director of Student Affairs, to please say the final or concluding words.
Thank you very much, Jazeb. So I wish good luck to all the participants, and the announcement regarding your result is, I will announce your result tomorrow in a session with the Honorable Vice Chancellor at 10:30, between 10:30 and 11. So I will communicate you all through your WhatsApp group of all the participants and all in charge student affairs. So we'll be having the prize distribution ceremony online tomorrow at 10:30, or if it's 15 minutes delay, I will let you know through your WhatsApp group. So I wish you good luck, everyone. I would especially thank Dr. Mubashir Nadeem for sparing time and judging these students for this today's contest. Azadi, this is actually the purpose of giving this topic, and only single topic was we must realize कि पाकिस्तान बनते वक्त हमारे जो बुजुर्ग थे उन्होंने कितनी कुर्बानियाँ और वो किन किन मुश्किल मराहिल से गुजरे, और उस गुजरने के बाद हमने ये मुल्क हासिल किया। शायद मैं और ये जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स थे श्योरली वो सब, तो हमने वो इरा देखा कि जब हमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें इस्टेब्लिश्ड मिली, मामलात बेहतर थे, मगर अगर आप उठा के देखें जिस दिन ये मुल्क बना, एक तो उसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा कुर्बानियाँ थी, लाखों लोगों का खून जो है वो इसके बुनियादों में शामिल है। इसके साथ साथ जब बन भी गया तो जैसे इंडिया को तो बना बनाया मिल गया सब कुछ, कि वो जब पार्टीशनिंग हुई तो उनके पास वो सारी चीज़ें दिल्ली में चली गई, लेकिन जब हमने हमारे पाकिस्तान की बारी आई तो हमारे पास वही स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच। मैं पढ़ रहा था कहीं कि हमें आर्काइव में जो चीज़ें हम मौजूद हैं ये आर्काइव में, कि हमें जो फाइल्स को आज आप क्लिप्स और चीज़ें लगाते हैं ना, वो किसी वक्त में जो अटेंडेंट्स होते थे उन्हें भेजा जाता था कि आप वो कांटे चुनकर लाएं जिसकी मदद से फाइलों को फाइल किया जाए, मतलब उनको क्लिप किया जाए। तो हम उस दौर से यहाँ तक आए। आपने और मैंने काफ़ी सारी ऐसी चीज़ें जो आपको और मुझे नेमत के तौर पर मिली और हम डायरेक्टली यूज़ कर रहे हैं, मगर हमारे बड़ों ने बहुत मुश्किल वक्त देखा। तो हमें ये रियलाइज़ करना है इस आज़ादी के मौका पर, एक तो कि हमने ये मुल्क को कितनी कुर्बानियां देकर हासिल किया और उसके लिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं। मतलब सिंगल बीइंग नेशन तो है ही है, लेकिन सिंगल मैं अगर एक पर्सन हूँ तो मेरा क्या रोल है, मैं किस तरह से इसके लिए बेहतर कर सकता हूँ। हमें इस कर्ज को उतारना है। दूसरा, आजकल वक्त की सबसे बड़ी 2-3 ज़रूरियात है, उसमें सबसे बड़ा जो मेन इशू है वो एनवायरमेंटल है। तो आप और मुझे इस मौसम में, यानी ये जो वेदर भी हमें सपोर्ट करता है और हमारी आज़ादी का दिन जो है वो इन्हीं दिनों के अंदर आता है। तो आजकल प्लांटेशन बहुत जो है वो इजीली किया जा सकता है। तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन कि आप सब लोग भी अपने अपने हिस्से से इस धरती का जो कर्ज है हम पर प्लांटेशन कीजिए, इसको सरसब्ज करने में अपना किरदार अदा कीजिए, क्योंकि इसी में आपकी और मेरी बका है। आपको और मुझे रहने के लिए जब तक एनवायरमेंटल इशू जो है ये रिजॉल्व नहीं होंगे तो दुनिया सेव नहीं है हमारे रहने के लिए, और उसको बनाने के लिए हमें अपना अपना किरदार अदा करना है। तो अपने अपने एंड पर जो है वो अपनी कोशिश कीजिए और मामलात को इस तरह से, प्लांटेशन को इस अगस्त पर जो है इस 14 अगस्त पर आज़ादी पर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो है ना वो वेटेज देना चाहिए। हमें रूटीन में भी करना चाहिए, लेकिन चूंकि एक मौका बना है और सरसब्ज मुल्क के लिए जो है ग्रीन हमारा कलर है और ग्रीन ही हमें इस धरती को बनाना है। सो अगेन एट द एंड आई विश ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट good luck. So your result will be announced tomorrow, and this is all for this session today. Jahanzeb Saab, you can conclude this one. So we'll come up again with the Urdu competition, and this will start after Juma prayer at 2 p.m. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You gave very nice suggestions. So that's what I want to say to everyone, that all of us should contribute towards the plantation. So that's how we can save Pakistan. That's how we can save ourselves and our coming generation. So see you at 2 for Urdu Declamation Contest. Meanwhile, stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.